Hi, everybody. My name is Saymoukda Duangphouxay Vongsay, and I am the Mellon Playwright-in-Residence at Theater Mu. I'm here with my good friend, Keiko Green, who is, or was, but is a member of the Mu Tang Clan Playwrights Incubator program that we started here last summer. And we're here to talk about your play, Exotic Deadly, which is going to be part of, the New Ice Festival 2022 at Theater Mu. Tell us a little bit about it. Tell the audience what it's about. What's the plot line?
Yeah, so Exotic Deadly is maybe my most, I think it's like, it's maybe my most wholesome play. It lives very much in the nicecore kind of genre. And I think I wrote it during, a lot of it during the pandemic when I was really wanting to just kind of be surrounded by joy and make myself laugh because, we were all kind of going through a thing. And so this is a coming of age adventure comedy. It's about this teenage girl who's Japanese American, with a immigrant mother from Japan, and she realized it's 1999, and she realizes that MSG, which she's heard all this horrible stuff about, actually is connected to her family, that her grandpa, her oji-chan in Japan, worked for Ajinomoto, which is this like major MSG manufacturer and distributor. And so it like ruins her entire worldview, and so she kind of goes on an adventure to stop her family from getting it out there. And it's very Scott Pilgrim-y. It's very Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I mean, that's the kind of tone I think that the play lives in.
And MSG, I feel like MSG is not bad. It's not, right? It's just.
It is. This play tackles exactly what you're talking about. There's just like
Right.
this huge misconception about MSG. Cheese, it's like naturally cheese and tomatoes, all those things, they take those extracts to make it. And it's like Campbell's soup, like some of the most American things in the world have MSG in it, but they just call it something else, And now they're rebranding it and like selling it at Whole Foods and stuff.
The two high school girls in your play are Ami and Exotic Deadly. And it's my impression that they couldn't be more opposite. Tell me more about these two high school girls.
Yeah, so Ami, what we learn about her very early on is that her goal is to just kind of fade into the background. Invisibility is like where she feels comfortable. And on the flip side of that is Exotic Deadly, who is very mysterious, we're not even sure if she's like a real person. She kind of appears out of the ether, shows up on stage, and and is everything that Ami is not. She's loud, she wears a leather jacket, she takes up space, she like every time she walks, she's walking in like slow motion, and everybody's like, who's that girl? And she's and it's the first time Ami is experiencing an Asian American woman who just is like taking up space, and she both idolizes her and is completely afraid of her, and also kind of like wants to make her small, like she is.
So which one of these two characters do you feel like you resonate with the most?
Oh man, like I feel very much both of the characters, but I think my biggest philosophical anxieties are pretty much represented in Ami, or at least my experience growing up, living in a really white area, and just I'm 5'9", so I'm just very tall and stick out, and I always just wanted to, I don't know, fade into the background a little bit. And it actually took me kind of a similar experience of going to college, going to like an urban environment in New York, and seeing amazing Asian American people just like so talented, and crushing it at the National Asian American Theater Company. And that was the first time I was like, oh, it's like cool to be us. And so I think that the play is actually like very much inspired by that experience.
Yeah. I'm learning how to take up more space, even with just my name, right? Whenever there's like a billing or something, I'm like, just please use my whole name.
Yeah.
Oh, my whole long loud last name. Okay, you mentioned you wrote this during the pandemic.
Mhm.
Was it an idea that was kicking around in your head for a while before then, or was it just the pandemic made you do things?
Yeah, I've always wanted to write about this play is very close to my heart. As far as writing from my personal experience, I would say, I've never time traveled or been to the
Really?
bottom of the ocean, but this play is very close to my heart, and a kind of homage to my mom and my mom's side of the family. And so I've always wanted to write about MSG, and I was just kind of like, how would I do that? And is it okay to just be kind of wild and funky? And so I think what happened is once the pandemic started happened and we were kind of stuck inside, suddenly it kind of like opened up this door of, who knows what theater's even going to look like. So let's just kind of take a big swing. But the idea had been marinating. My grandpa did work for Ajinomoto, and I remember being mortified. And I remember seeing those like crystals, the bottle of Ajinomoto in my house, and being like, "Oh my God, it's poison," and just having this big identity crisis about what my family was responsible for.
Yeah, I think something that I am appreciating about this play is that, there's it's resonating with me just because there's a lot of things that's about a family that we need to interrogate and look at. They're not all bad things, but we may perceive them as bad things, right? This is because of outside influence, right? And that happens a lot, which is, I think, us as, Asian Americans being here in this country. And then more so as Asian American women playwrights in this world where our stories are not often told. And if it is told, it's like misinterpreted, right? And so
Yeah.
for us to be able to tell our family stories, I think it's just really powerful.
I have a huge memory of like one of the I think for a lot of Asian Americans, and actually I think a lot of different people who come from cultures outside the US, there's a really significant moment at some point when you're growing up where uh you bring your dish to school, or someone comes to your home for dinner or something like that, and the first time someone like smells something or tries something or hears what a dish is, and they say, "Ew, gross," or like, "Ew, that smell." And it's this thing that it has a significant impact on so many people. I've heard so many Asian Americans talk about how they brought in a bento and someone like made fun of it, or just called it gross, and it's just so casual for them, and it kind of just like makes you rethink how much pride you're allowed to have for your culture, and food is such a humongous part of that. So that's actually been, that's probably the nugget that I've been wanting to write about for a really long time.
So come check out New Eyes Festival, April 9th through 10th at Theater Mu. We still have tickets left, so please come as a squad, because you don't want to come and see Exotic Deadly alone. You want to come laughing and be amongst your squad and laughing and feeling like you're taking up space and feeling empowered and proud, and just be glad that you were raised on MSG, I guess. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.